Sunday school is a place for fools. It's hot in hell, but the devil's cool. Don't keep Satan waiting. Don't keep Satan waiting. So don't just sit there, join the club. Sell your soul to Beelzebub. Hey, everybody, is I, your old satanic pal, Count Jackula, here with another satanic stream. Here with Yogi Devdas. Here, let me center your name there for a little bit. There we go. And let the sin begin. Yes, let's we gotta start a little bit with a bit of sad news. Very sad news, actually. Tony Todd has passed. Candyman himself has gone to the hereafter. Man, I am bummed. I'm bummed because he was always so great to talk to. He was always so great to meet, and it's like, oh, now every show will be less a Tony Todd, and that means it will be less, I don't know how else to say it.
No, it's very true. He loved meeting fans. He always loved he was always so enthusiastic about his own work.
Yes.
Like there was always like a lot of joy he had.
He loved acting. He loved it. It's one of the things that kept him going,
I will say I'm glad that he got to spend the vast majority of his life doing what he loved doing.
Oh yeah. You can't say he didn't live the way he wanted. You couldn't say that. You couldn't say it was a wasted life. You couldn't say anything bad about the way he lived. The only tragedy, the way I feel, is if the only real tragedy is the fact that you were taken too soon, you're probably doing pretty well. You probably did very well. So he's 69, which, I mean, hey, if you're gonna pick an age, that's not a bad one.
What a number to go
on, but at the same time, it's like, oh man, we could have had more. I'd have been totally fine with like ancient Tony Todd, barely able to walk, sitting there just like talking to fans. Still would have been amazing. Yeah, he had a great life. Always a great guy.
Eventually every role just becomes great, like crazy murderous wheelchair grandpa.
Yeah. I see what you're doing there, son. Just let me roll over to you. You can't outrun these wheels.
Oh my god, would have been. Oh no, that would have been awesome. Also, can we? And I don't think this is disrespectful or distasteful to bring up. He was so many horror fans' sexual awakening. In the late 80s.
Oh, of course.
So many.
Yeah, I mean, like, I feel like you would, come on, we don't lie. Let us not have a relationship of lies.
I mean, for fuck's sake, even like fucking Rantasmo made that joke. The whole like, be my victim.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, I wanted to be that cool, like that's what I want. Yeah. I want to be that cool, He still could have gone out in '96. That'd have been even better. That would have been even better.
So that means we get more Tony Todd.
Yeah. About 30 more years. About almost 30 more years. That'd have been fantastic. 27. Whatever. More years would have been great. Sebastian Edmonds, like, I'd be his victim. I feel you. Most people would.
And the ones who say they wouldn't, they
lie. Yeah. We know that 80% of people said that they would be Tony Todd's victim, and the rest lie. Oh man.
9 out of 10 Dennis agrees, and that 10th one, he's a son of a bitch.
He's a son of a bitch. Yeah, that motherfucker. Dude, and speaking of motherfuckers, just out there in the world, out there in the fucking world. I can't believe it. Like, I can't believe. I thought, so I heard about, like, so first of all, we got the election, which is horrific. You know, the results were absolutely horrific.
They were, and what I find so interesting though is that people have already taken to all forms of social media to be like, wait a minute, they're not finished counting how many yet?
It's a lot.
Yeah, no, that's the thing. Like, people are saying that, and they're like, wait a minute, whoa, hold on.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah.
And well, it's look, man. The one thing that I can't abide, is anybody who either, I will not abide this. If you voted for Trump or you didn't vote for Kamala Harris in this election specifically, fuck you. I mean, if you're in another country and you're like, dude, I'm in Canada. Like, all right, I'm not talking about you. You know,
we're talking about our fellow Americans.
We're talking about our fellow Americans, because that made me extremely angry. Because, well, it's like I said on TikTok the other day. It's just base callousness. You know, like, oh, but what about Gaza? What? So you're just gonna hand it over to Trump?
Here's the thing I want to point out, and I don't know if you saw John Oliver's pre-election episode, but when doing a piece on the election beforehand, he brought this up, and he was actually, I think, he pointed out quite well, which is that, look, yes, it's awful that Kamala doesn't seem to really want to engage with that issue, but because of where she said she is on that issue, after having her in office, like, public insistence, we can try to push that issue.
Yeah.
But the guy you're giving it to instead openly said, and I quote, I'd tell Netanyahu to do what he needed to do to get it finished. So Trump has said that he will openly participate in funding the state of Israel. So,
yep.
But do you want to get more mad about it? Have you seen the demographic breakdowns?
I did see the demographic breakdowns.
Did you see how many Gen Xers voted for him?
I did, and I was so fucking pissed. Because I'm like, motherfucker, you got no excuse. You should have known better. You knew better. You knew better.
Well, I mean, to be fair, because, Jack, I know you go up to bat for your age demographic a lot, but to be fair, you represent like a cool minority.
Yeah, no, I know, you're right.
You know,
you're right. Hey, I represent the 47, not the 53. You know, I'm just mad that there was so much of the 53. I mean, like, you know, Buffy and Chad, you know, like they're Gen Xers too. You know, Winklevoss twins, they're Gen Xers. Like, you know, fuck all that. Winklevoss twins rowing the goddamn boat. Fucking motherfuckers. Mark Zuckerberg. You know,
I can't remember who invented Facebook. Who the fuck invented Facebook? All I can remember is the guy who played the guy in the movie who was the guy who invented Facebook. 2 hours later,
Mark Zuckerberg. The Zoomer breakdown was also horrifying, where it was sort of like, okay, so what was the big shift in the younger generations was Gen Z men, Gen Z boys.
Gen Z white boys.
What Gen Z white boys? Yeah, right. It was in fact that specific.
Like I I hate look, dear cis straight white men who aren't necessarily the problem. I'm sorry, but I'm not sorry. We have to keep bringing it up. Your particular slice of things keeps fucking shit up.
Well,
even if it's not just you.
Well, I was questioning that for a while. Like I was questioning that for a while, meaning like about a day. You know, I was like, really? Oh, that's fucked up. And of course, like in my mind, it made a certain amount of sense because I'm like, look, a sex-averse demographic is never going to be progressive.
Well,
it's never going to skew progressive. They just don't.
See, I will say this though. Is that the other reason the Gen Z breakdown makes sense is that think about it. People who you and I have bitched about and torn apart on the show, people like Jordan Peterson, people people like Matt Walsh, people like the reason the ultra-right fasci pipelines took so well to social media and YouTube and shit like that was because they keep trying to prime younger and younger audiences as they're coming up.
Yeah.
So
yeah, and lockdown because of COVID like gave them immense opportunity for influence, and they took it.
It really did. How like actually, yeah, no,
yeah, whole new generation of unfuckable incels. Sigh. Yeah, that's it. And
but really though, how like a fascist to take advantage of the is there a crisis in the world going on? Ooh, time to capitalize on my bullshit.
Oh yeah, but the thing that really made me go like, oh, they're not wrong, was the whole trend of young guys, and I mean young guys like high schoolers, you know, going up to girls and saying, "Your body, my choice." Like that's a trend and that's a thing. And so just letting you know that if you hear the news, Count Jackula arrested, it's because someone said that shit near me.
Oh God, it's
because I'm just sort of like that brings out like that anger brings out my worst impulses, and my worst impulse is to say, didn't your parents beat you enough? Which I know the answer is actually probably yeah, they did, because that's the sort of environment that breeds that kind of thinking and that kind of behavior. But holy fucking shit. Really? Like you gonna do that out in the open in front of people with your whole chest? Holy fucking shit.
It's also weird because as someone who works professionally with like that demographic of youth, I haven't heard anybody say that particular foul thing, but the shit that like these kids say because they think for some reason no one's listening, or at least don't have the wherewithal to give a fuck, it's insane. Some of the shit I hear kids say is insane. Oh
yeah.
And then you have like a horrible realization of, oh God, what was I like from the outside? Look, oh no,
not like that.
No, not like that.
Not
but you know
like
what I mean.
That.
Like, but you know what I mean? Like, it makes you think about that for a second, and it kind of catches you off guard, and it's like,
I've thought about it. The thing is I've thought about it, and I've gone over my own history and the fucked up things I've done, and came to the solid conclusion. No, I would have never said anything that foul. You know, like, I might have said a whole bunch of other shit. Like, hey, have I used the word faggot? Yes. Did I use that? Yes. Absolutely. And that's foul in a whole other way. But you still weren't supposed to just fucking walk up and say that to people out loud so everyone could hear it. You just said it.
There's a it's interesting because I find, for as shitty as the current sociopolitical situation is, I find it very odd that I'm like, wow, everyone's being very honest about the shittiest parts of themselves all of a sudden.
Yeah.
It's
Well,
it's really interesting.
yeah, well, we either think that we have license to, or we're doing it because we have to take self-inventory right now. So that's everybody. And like another thing that this is definitely like something I want like chat to hear, which is if you're full of hate right now, don't be too angry with yourself. That is you. That is your psyche trying to adjust to a hateful reality. And your psyche does not always do the most elegant job. You gotta remember who you really are, But when you feel that hate and that anger towards like people who do this repugnant shit, that's because you have to deal with it. You're gonna feel it. It's gonna happen. Why? Because we have empathy. That's like kind of the flip side of empathy, which is no. We do feel that hatred. We just don't like it.
Mm-hmm. And again, it's expressed towards things that we view and understand as a danger to the empathy we feel.
Yeah,
it's a perfectly rational response. I think like the only thing I'll say on top of that to anybody listening is that I definitely am not going to tell you not to feel anger at repugnant shit.
No, of course not.
I will say though that the best thing to do in that case is focus on having enough internal awareness to take the energy of that anger and process it into feasible action.
Yeah, know what it is. It's not necessarily you. It's sometimes something that's been done to you.
Yeah, exactly. And also like how to put it, like
we're heading towards an apocalyptic future. Maybe yes, maybe I don't know about when I think apocalyptic, I think like Mad Max level of shit. I mean, now also, if we're talking about, if you're just saying apocalyptic to mean like really, 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 really bad, yes,
or massive changes,
or massive, an Armageddon, an apocalyptic shift, yes.
A change of orders and aeons.
Yeah. Change in orders and aeons. That type of apocalyptic, like yes. The type of apocalypse that kind of comes along and just rocks a fucking people's world. Yes. But I don't know. But I don't think we're going to be heading towards like Mad Max or Walking Dead. I think the world that requires more than the human beings to go wrong.
Yes. Also, I will say that penultimate, well, no, not penultimate, that ultimate apocalyptic end, that's going to happen one way or the other just because of the passage of time.
Yeah. So, eventually the sun will burn too bright and just, but that is billions, if not trillions of years in the future.
And then there's the real big one. Woo, heat death of the universe.
Yeah, heat death of the universe. Yeah, but we're still on, like, the heat death of the universe is absolutely not going to be our problem. That probably wouldn't even be the problem of immortals, because the universe is still expanding. And so if the universe is still expanding, that means we're nowhere close to the heat death of the universe. Nowhere close. We're still on, we haven't even reached the halfway point. You
I love
know,
how we were talking about clear and present issues, and then of course I had to escalate it to to
yeah,
macrocosmic.
yeah. And if you want to know how long the midpoint of the universe is, let me put it this way. Since the start of the universe, no black hole that has been formed has had time to collapse. In that term, in terms of the heat death of the universe is young, very young.
Glad that we still have all of our gravity defying neighbors.
Yeah, yeah, like they're out, so when people say like, are there are there outer space aliens? And I'm like, oh, I guarantee it. Like, well, where are they? Not here. They're somewhere, you
Oh well,
know.
well. Listen. If you want to talk about the aliens, I can tell you what you need to do to talk about the aliens. You need to go behind the Quickie Mart and meet this man, this wizard with a big cone on his head named Ralph. And Ralph will give you the fungi, and the fungi will get you onto the ship.
Yeah, now I'm thinking of a dystopian
Oh,
future where it's going to be Handmaid's Tale or V for Vendetta. Way more likely. That's way more likely.
oh
But
God,
there is this aspect that I was talking about this earlier with the Countess, which is I don't know what happens when a country as big as the United States becomes fascist. And what I mean by that is this. Fascism doesn't tend it's got this optimal population it can affect, and we are well past it. So what happens if a fascist government takes control of the central government? What happens at that point? Because in because here's the thing, the Third Reich wasn't even as big as California.
no, it wasn't, and it was
Yeah, not even
already.
close.
And actually, now I think about it, by that standard, it's a very frequently projected idea that even if the Axis had won the war, Germany, like the Reich, would have like collapsed under its own weight within like 10 years.
Yeah. It still would have collapsed under its own weight. It was just that the Allies were like, we can't wait that long.
Correct.
Because like in the interim, there would be even more damage.
Mm.
But what happens at that point? Because like for example, let's take the clearest the most applicable example of a totalitarian state anywhere close to the size of the US, the USSR. What happened? It
broke.
It broke.
It fucking broke.
It broke, and it wasn't even full on fascist. It was just massively authoritarian. They didn't actually go that next step, but it still only lasted like 40 years.
See, I will say this, like this, my one nitpick with that is simply for the fact that the Soviet Union is not fascist simply by virtue of that it's an extreme leftist position, but it is as authoritarian as
well, it was definitely as authoritarian.
Yeah.
So you have this giant authoritarian state that lasted about 40 years, broke up. Now accelerate that, because fascism works on a much faster timeline on that shit.
It's very expedited.
Yeah, it's very expedited because there is absolutely no focus on unity, only purity.
And actually, also, if you think about it, the reason it falls apart so much more quickly than like statist communism is that because it's a hyper capitalistic industrial economy, it's purely focused on manufacturing and consumption, so it burns up its resources.
It goes through its resources faster. It goes through its work. Well, to be honest, it goes through its worker capital faster.
It does.
You know, like
Whereas
the thing that
least
actually keeps the working class, as opposed to essentially Dickensian workhouse labor, is the money. If the working class gets the money or enough money, it doesn't even need all the money, it just needs enough money, then you can keep it going for quite a while. But once again, we're past that point. You know, we're at a point now where rent is, if you're in a situation where a working person who works 40 hours a week has to decide between rent and food, you're past that point. You're absolutely past that point. You know, and the trend is not due to the election, that trend is not going to reverse, not for a while. You know, you can look forward to a depression. That terrifies me. That terrifies me not only as a person who does not want to live through a Great Depression, but also as a person who is trying to run a business. It's horrifying.
God,
because you're just, I was about to say, I'm just constantly looking at things and going like, how much is the cost of doing business going to go up? Like, how bad's it going to get? Because let me put it this way, 20% is apocalyptic economically. A 20% increase is apocalyptic.
No, it is. It absolutely is.
Yeah, like, how's Britain doing these days? They've got a 20% increase on everything.
They're yelling about bread.
Yeah, they're yelling about bread. We're at least still on eggs. You know, like, we're at least still on eggs. They're worried about even more basic staples.
And I would like to remind everyone, it just in world history, what the usual reaction to bread not being affordable usually is.
Well, yeah, they call it, was it the politics of bread?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like, duh, like, people got to eat, man. Like, and interestingly enough, that's one of the things that actually keeps the Chinese government from overstepping itself. Now, it's not going to always work, but China has a great cultural history of, oh, there's famine. Oh, okay, we need to kill the emperor.
Because he's lost the mandate.
Because he's lost the mandate of heaven. Because there's famine. Like, pestilence is bad. Pestilence won't win you any favors, obviously, but widespread famine, dude.
Red tide on the shore is bad.
Yeah. Like, we talk about guillotines, but we're playing. When Chinese say heads gotta roll, they mean it. They mean it literally.
They literally
still behead people. You know, they still literally behead, like, ministers who are considered to have failed on that level. They do it every few decades. It happens.
They don't advertise.
No, they don't advertise it. They don't, that's not something they talk about at them UN meetings, but it happens.
But if you know where to look online, you will find the security footage.
Yeah. You can find it. You know, it's like the 2008 heads rolled. You know, that wasn't even like you're fired. They didn't even do what France did, ironically, which was just, okay, that's it. You're fired. You're not allowed to be in control of shit anymore. China was just like, yeah, you're not allowed to live anymore. Like, you made such a bad decision that for the good of the country, we're going to execute you.
Like, can you imagine? Oh my God. Could you imagine the situation if in southern China, rice became too expensive or wheat became too expensive in northern China? Could you imagine the response?
No, the country would they'd light it on fire. They would that would be the situation that they're worried about. That would
It's
be an
kind
uprising.
it's kind of why, even though I have complicated feelings with a lot of European countries, it's one of the things I feel that I respect about France, because it's just one of those things of like, oh, I'm sorry, are they is the government union busting this month? Well, I guess we're just gonna burn the city down.
City down. Yeah, yeah. We're just gonna light Paris on fire. Like it's one of those things where I'm like, the French and particularly Paris says that it's going to protest a certain way, you could set your watch to it. They'll do it. And it's both inspiring and terrifying. You will stand in awe. You will have that moment of, what have I done? Because yeah, and they just resolve themselves to it.
Okay.
You know,
Fucking Hong Kong University students.
Hong Kong University students, like, okay, that's what happens.
That shit was crazy.
Oh no, it's super crazy because like the majority of the strong arm tactics, the military tactics that the China government used when it last tried to take over Hong Kong failed. They absolutely failed. Why? The population knew them better than they did. They knew how to fuck with it better than they did. You're going to put bricks down in hopes that we'll start breaking things? We're going to build barriers. Congratulations, you played yourself. But we'll be able to identify everyone on camera. Actually, if you use this kind of face paint, the camera will not be able to identify you. Because it's just not that good.
Fucking teenagers like blowing up police blockades with bottle rockets from their roofs and shit.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Oh my God, it's like fucking the Chinese have a fucking history of using explosives for entertainment. Like, I mean, 4th of July, that's horse shit in comparison to some of the fireworks crap I've seen in Asian countries. Like, they are insane with it.
China has such a love for basic noisy combustion that fire.
Yeah, Asian country without rice is a country that ain't about to not exist no more. Yeah. And they'll start killing people before like they starve to death.
Absolutely true. Oh, but yeah, no, China, a place that has such a love for like noisy combustion that firecrackers are a common feture in exorcisms.
Yeah, well, it's one of those weird things where like I'm glad they reversed course, but like there was definitely a part of me going like, you're gonna invade Hong Kong? Are you forgetting that they're, Chinese and that they've been under British occupation since there has never been a period in Hong Kong in recent history where they have not been occupied. That is a population built on living under occupation. And right now the occupying force is mainland China. That's all that changed for them.
It's kind of like, oh my God, no,
those motherfuckers outlasted. I'm like, okay, now granted, when you're talking about outlasting people, China is an order of magnitude greater than Britain. But it is one of those things where you're like, yeah, Britain's usually really good at subjugating a population. It didn't work so well in Hong Kong. Oh, don't get me wrong. It worked. But it wasn't as clean a victory as it was in a lot of other places.
Yeah, no, Britain's whole main tactic of divide and conquer didn't work as cleanly or as well as they wanted it to.
No, it didn't. Hong Kong instead galvanized itself against them. That's one of those. Yeah, and you're like, well, wait. But people don't know the history of Britain's interactions with Central and East Asia, because the only thing you guys know is the word Boxer Rebellion. and you don't know what it means or how it went down. By the way, they called it the Boxer Rebellion because white people didn't know what martial arts were. All they knew is they were getting punched and kicked, and they needed to call it something snappy. So they called it the Boxer Rebellion. That's why sometimes when you see like a kung fu movie, they will refer to the main character as a boxer. That means he practices a type of martial art that was popular around the time of the Boxer Rebellion.
That's why Boxer's Omen is a thing.
Yeah, that's why Boxer's Omen is the thing. Or muscle-bound boxer in Hell. You know,
love that movie.
Yeah, it's basically Japanese Evil Dead. Or is it Japanese or Filipino?
I think
I think it's Japanese.
No, I think it is.
Yeah, a Flashman is bloody muscle-bound boxer in Hell Japanese or Filipino or Indonesian or
inquiring minds
want to know.
But yeah, no, I love that the horribly complex relationship between like China and England is such that the massive import of opium and heroin was legitimately seen as a retaliation.
Yeah. But the Boxer Rebellion was the last attempt of the king to overthrow foreign influences. Yeah, who do you think the foreign influence was?
Oh my god!
who do you think it was? You know, like, oh my god, one of the things I love is this actually leads me to like one of the things I love about Bollywood and Indian movies.
Mm-hmm.
You know, more than any other country. Okay, Flashman says it was Japanese. Bloody muscle-bound boxer is Japanese. All right, thanks, man. India never forgot that Britain is the bad guy.
Oh Lord, of course not.
I mean,
you can never forget that.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of, and it's bloody muscle bodybuilder in Hell. Oh, okay, I got the title wrong, but at least we knew what we were talking about. It's got one of them titles.
Wait, is that like that ridiculous haunted house one?
It's the one that's based off of Evil Dead 1 and 2. It's basically a rip-off of Evil Dead 1 and 2.
Yes. And at one point when they're like going to like, you know, the house that all the bad shit happens in, there's like a horrible projection of a woman's wide face on the side of the building. I remember. And then she eats somebody.
Yeah. Oh man, I love the Asian ghost stories, Asian stories of the supernatural. They get so wild.
Oh, they're fucking great.
Yeah.
They're fucking great. It's like why it's why I love like old school fairy tales just in general.
Yeah, they get crazy.
Yeah, no, they do. It's crazy shit.
Yeah, like it's great. It's so awesome.
Like, have you ever like read the original version of Cinderella? I'm sure you have.
Depends on which one you think call the original. I've read many versions of it, including the one with the tree, including the one where the sisters are mutilated at the end.
There's that one, and then the whole like cutting off like the toes and the heels thing, but then also like a swarm
look behind, there's blood on the trail.
Mm-hmm. And then also like the swarm of birds like pecking their eyes
the crows.
Out as they run. Yeah. No, it's crazy shit. But
there's a version of Cinderella that is basically, be careful, because apparently Cinderella's like the daughter of a treant and a dryad. Don't fuck with that.
Which is why she's so beautiful and pure and perfect.
Yeah. And
also why animals like her.
Yeah, and whatever you do, don't cut the treant down, because then you're in real trouble.
No.
You're fucked. You're done at that point. You are ended. Hey, Rose Corbin, how you doing?
I think I've just got like folktales and shit on the brain though, because I've been rewatching that season of Dimension 20 Never After, the one where it's like a D&D campaign but set in the worlds of fairy tale. Like that shit's
Oh,
crazy. Oh, yeah, no, that shit's crazy. They fucking it get it's amazing because like it starts out just like as dark fairy tale shit, and then it turns into like this hyper meta characters becoming aware that they're characters in stories.
oh, taking it all the way.
Oh no, it's fucking great. The season turns by the end of the season it turns the concept of human authors into eldritch horrors from beyond the void.
Oh man,
It's really good.
that reminds me. A friend of mine we were talking about what we would have done with Ravenloft if we like well I had proposed like what if we did a Ravenloft setting for Pathfinder? Like what would we do? And we were like, well, we definitely need travelers. We definitely need traveler people. You can't really have a good gothic horror without traveler people. But
Okay.
one thing we did real want to do was like no 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 no. It's not now granted the tension is between the traveler people and the settled people. Like that would be one of the tensions.
Yes.
You know, makes sense. But the
And
Dark
then
Lords
mm,
have nothing to do with the Traveler people. And in fact, part of the reason the Traveler people are persecuted is because the Dark Lords don't have any sort of direct control over them. Because they're used to just walking into a settlement and going like, ah, and people just falling in line. But the travelers don't because they're like, well, okay, I guess we'll just pick up and leave then. Fuck you. And they're like, whoa, wait, that usually works. Wait, get back here. But they can't leave their territory,
no, that's actually the best interpretation of that I've ever heard in my life. That's amazing.
Yeah. And it would be, and it would be like, no. You're actually kind of, if you're adventurers, you probably are travelers, or you would be traveler friendly because when you're in a D&D campaign, you're a fucking nomad.
I mean, yeah.
You don't usually stay in one place. Like sometimes you do. Sometimes it's a Waterdeep or a Baldur's Gate. But like usually you're just wandering from adventure to adventure. You don't have a room. You rent rooms. You don't own a house.
Yeah, no, it's one of those things where it's different types of it's different types of migratory living. It's like different concepts of that, which every so often do bump into each other.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And the other thing about the travelers is that they know um little rituals and little things that like fend things off.
Oh
But
yeah,
just
no,
because they have been there and they talk to each other, they're like,
yeah,
oh yeah, Count Vladivostok, yeah, for some reason he cannot cross a bed of roses. Weirdest goddamn thing. Or this guy can't that guy can't cross running water. Or the werewolves in this area, you can't kill them with silver, you have to use gold. you know so but they know
it's
that shit.
it's funny, right? Because and this is why I love like you you going like this particular route with this idea is that like for instance, all of y'all who know that garlic fends off vampires, as a Romani person, you're welcome. That's from us. That's part of our
Yeah.
shit. And funny fact, do you know why it's a thing? Because I can tell you exactly why it's a thing. It's because think if you think about like old school Eastern European to to West Asian vampires, right? Like they're beings of disease. They operate like
Yeah,
plagues.
they're heavily associated with the spread of plague.
Yeah, and that's the thing, right? It's like, okay, so garlic, one of the most medicinal like vegetables and herbs that people know about. So why do you hang up garlic to fend off a vampire? You're hanging up medicine to keep illness away. That's the
Yeah, yeah,
whole
yeah.
point.
They're putting up garlic for the same reason that the plague doctors would stuff it in their mask, because
Mm-hmm.
it was believed they didn't have the word for it at the time, but it was believed at the time to be an antiseptic. So why does the plague doctor wear that mask? Well, that cone is like filled with shit like garlic and other medicinal spices, or spices that were considered medicinal. So they believed it would act as a filter against disease, and kind of. The mask itself was probably a bit more effective than the actual spices, but
The
like
the
that
the plague
wasn't really understood well at the time.
the plague doctor uniform and protocol is so close to being right, and yet is
Yeah.
so not.
Yeah. They had some of the basic concepts correct, but the details, or they didn't understand how all the details worked.
I'm going to wear a large, heavy draped material that goes all the way down to my ankles with big boots, long sleeves with gloves covering the sleeves, and a completely aerated mask. And I'm going to examine the patient from a distance with a pointer stick.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
like you're so close.
they knew they shouldn't touch disease, but they didn't understand it to the fine point where any of their stuff was going to make a huge difference.
Well, yeah, because that's the thing, right? It's like prior the discovery of microorganisms and germs, miasma theory is the closest you're going to get to being
Yeah.
right. So,
Yeah, and also you can see why they thought bleeding people might work, because of people's body temperature. They
mm-hmm.
knew people got hot and they felt like they were burning inside, so we know disease affects the blood, so let's release some of the blood. Maybe they'll bring their fever down. And it coincided enough that they kept doing it. Whereas the
Yeah,
reality was it had nothing to do with the bleeding. It had everything to do with the immune system.
right. Which is also why leeches were a common practice
Yep.
because of bloodletting,
Mm-hmm.
but also the idea that like illness poisons the blood, so the leech will suck out the poison blood and leave the good. It was
Yeah,
such
yeah,
a
yeah. And you're like, ooh, almost.
most.
Almost. And like, well, the other thing being that blood transfusions actually predate germ theory too. It just so happened that
They
that was
do.
one of the things that actually did have some efficacy.
Yeah, because it's one of those things where it's like sometimes they, without realizing it, matched blood types well enough that it kind of worked.
Yeah, yeah. And they
You
knew
know.
enough that an obviously infected person, you probably didn't want to transfuse with that, so it worked relatively. It was just the best that they had at the time before the microscope, you know.
Also, one of the many sources in which like classic Gothic horror gets matched up with like the innovations of science trying to come in contact with the paranormal. Consider in Bram Stoker's Dracula, there's a blood transfusion.
Yep. Yeah, that was like Stoker's Dracula was very sci-fi for its day.
Yeah, it's kind of like how a lot of people don't think of a lot of Lovecraft as really sci-fi and more horror these days, but when you really look at it, it's like, no, there's a lot of
Yeah,
technological fear here.
yeah. There's a lot of misunderstanding of technology that's going on that is the basis of a lot of his stories.
My my
Or
fa-
the
my
basis, or science, like, the color you can't see. You know, like that's a science fiction concept. Or
Whereas I want to point out, color out of space, about a color of light that is not on the visible color spectrum, and yet is somehow demonstrably visible.
Yeah. Because he didn't understand that what the real difference was is that there are colors that the human eye does not see.
Yeah, no,
but they exist on that spectrum. You just can't see it. Like that whole like UV thing, that whole UV part of the spectrum. There are creatures that can actually see the differentiations in that.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely. The human color range is actually and light range is extremely limited, especially compared to other life forms. But I do love
because one of the reasons, it's the thing that's so freaky, that's interesting, is it's literally because of our environment. Because, quick, what's the most common color? What's the most common color of light?
Oh, of light is isn't it yellow?
It's blue.
Is it really?
It's blue. Yeah, think of it. The sky's blue.
Because it reflects blue light.
Yes. Yeah. So all of our vision is prioritizes that. Whereas most of the creatures that see the other shit, they come from the ocean. Blue is not the most common color in the ocean. The darker end of the spectrum is. That's where the majority of the visible light that gets into the ocean is on the darker end of the spectrum. Whereas we're on this other part of the spectrum, and so that's the range that we've developed to see in.
Oh my god, can you imagine what certain fish must look like if we could actually see that end of the...
I know, right?
That's
no concept crazy. Of it. In fact, one of the things that's really funny is that magenta actually is a spectrum of colors we can't see.
Yeah, it is. Magenta is in of itself an entire spectrum.
Yeah.
Of indecipherable
if we could see the gradations, if we could see the proper gradations of it, like on the light spectrum, magenta, we don't know what magenta would look like. It would probably look like a bunch of different colors all put together randomly, because when we look at it, we're like, yeah, this is magenta, but there might be, but as anybody who has played with light and paint, particularly with black light, realizes, oh, no, it's not. One color is not always one thing.
Yeah.
You know, like
literally
phosphorus, put anything phosphorus in anything under normal light, doesn't fucking matter. Under black light, all of a sudden it matters.
Well, yeah, because it's the whole thing of like limiting and exposing your eye to different like ends of the spectrum or sections of the spectrum exclusively. It's really interesting.
Cosmic horror that's centered around shadows. Oh, geez. Okay. Lurker on the threshold. Dweller on the threshold. Shadow Out of Time has a lot to do with shadows. So is the At the Mountains of Madness, but that's mainly as like a suspense type of thing. Like you're not seeing things properly. What was the oh god, what's the one with the dimensional shambler?
Oh shit.
Is that the Dweller on the Threshold? No, I don't think that's the Dweller on the Threshold. I think that's the
no, because the Dweller on the Threshold deals more with the Watcher and shit.
Yeah. Let's see. Dimensional Shambler. If I look up the wiki, it's got to fucking Horror in the Museum. Yeah.
I'd also say to an extent that the Nameless City deals a lot with like the oppression of shadow, like more as a thematic thing, but it deals a lot with
yeah. There's also so you got a lot of options. I would just start reading.
The Hound is also really good.
I love the Hounds of Tindalos. They're such assholes. They're such assholes. Like it's a creature that comes that once it starts stalking you, it doesn't. It just keeps coming, but it only gets close to you whenever you pass by a perfect right angle.
Which none of the characters who get stalked by them ever fucking put together.
No, they never put it together. Like because there is that one, you don't put it together until the very end, because the guy who dies at the end is in a perfectly circular room with like a dome, but then there's an earthquake, and a perfect right angle shows up between the rubble, and the hound comes out. You know, they come out of the right angles of time, which basically means every time you pass a perfect 90-degree angle.
Because time and space go.
Yeah, it's Lovecraft. Time and space go.
Oh, but no, I
oh, god damn it, John.
Well,
that was a horror guru joke. He's like, well, that was very obtuse.
And now you're being acute.
Son of a fucking bitch. But yeah. Like,
oh, but no, I do love, though, as engrossing as a lot of Lovecraft's writing is, I do love, example, again, back with like Color Out of Space, that literally that resulted from someone trying to explain the spectrum of non-visible light to H.P. Lovecraft, and he went, you mean somewhere there exist colors that man has never seen? What could they be capable of?
Yeah.
And then he ran away.
Yeah, and the story's actually quite brilliant, you know, I mean, H.P. Lovecraft is a really frustrating exercise in separating the art from the artist.
Remember that time that H.P. Lovecraft was scared by an air conditioner?
Yes, it was called Cold Air. That was very early on in his writing career. You know, it's keeping an undead guy alive, and then when it breaks, the guy melts.
Ooh. And death finally comes for him. Hooray!
Hooray! You know, Flashman, don't be such a square. God damn it.
Hey, it's hip to be a square.
Yeah, Alice in Wonderland was made because Lewis Carroll hated imaginary numbers. Yeah. How could there be numbers that only exist in the imagination? You know, like, I don't look, man.
It's like you want to know what happens when you live in a world that runs by that logic? Let me show you. Fucking rabbits with pocket watches. That's what fucking happens.
Yeah.
When you really break down
numbers that are purely imaginary, what might they be capable of?
And when you break it down that that's what Alice in Wonderland actually is, and then once you actually realize that, then like the Victorian math puns are actually kind of hidden everywhere.
Yeah. Alice in Wonderland's Alice in Wonderland's big running theme is mathematics. I forget what they call it, but it's that branch of mathematics that purely deals with the numbers. Whereas Through the Looking Glass deals with geometry.
Oh yeah, no, it does. It does. Like the fight between the lion and the unicorn, and then the cutting of the looking glass cake, where you have to divide it and give it away before you're able to cut it.
Yeah. It's all about planar geometry, you know.
And it's, oh god, and once you realize that, it's like, I hate that.
Yeah, it's liberally sprinkled with like his political commentary, you know.
Which, what I think is so funny is that when Queen Victoria herself was such a huge fan of Alice's Adventures in Wonderland and Through the Looking Glass, that she wrote to Dobson, aka Lewis Carroll, and like wrote to him like this huge like royal praise of his work, and then asked if he would be kind enough to dedicate his next book to her and send her a copy. And he did, and it was just like he was like a mathematician who worked at Oxford, so he sent her like a treatise on, like, it was some type of highly mathematical text about like algorithmic theorems or something, and she looked at it and went, what the fuck is this?
I was hoping you'd send me a fiction book, like a fairy tale.
No,
or something.
she apparently had no idea he was a mathematician.
Yeah, she thought he was like well, he predates like Charles Dickens, but she thought he was a guy like that, like a pure literary person. Can you make a queen character around me, Mr. Carroll? Oh yes, yes I can. As a matter of fact. Oh man.
Oh,
but yeah. Go on.
I was about to say, speaking of books.
Oh.
We both got one recently.
We both got one recently. We both got the same book. Not the same copy. Or is it? This could be the same book seen through two different dimensions.
We are magicians.
After all. This is the Moon and Serpent Bumper Book of Magic by Alan Moore and Steve Moore.
No relation.
No relation. They just happen to be both named Moore, and they spell it both the same way. Maybe they're related somewhere way back when, but probably their family just both came from the Moors. Because that's how last names in Europe work.
Especially in England.
Especially in England, yeah.
Oh, God, after years of waiting, we finally got this fucking thing.
I was so happy that at the back of the book is the opening of the Grand Egyptian Moon and Serpent Theater.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And this also...
Step up now, gentlemen and ladies, come this way. Here in the Moon and Serpent Grand Egyptian Theater of Marvels, we have curiosities to suit your every inclination, demonstrations and displays, unique sensations, and a previously unimagined sexual extremity included in the modest cover fee. You dare not bring your wives, persuade your husbands to remain at home. Beyond these doors, we guarantee admittance to a hidden demi-monde with ritual embellishments unpracticed since the 2nd century. There's mountebanks and fiery worms and roses made of time in grander way. Step right this way, step right this way. Celia Lefevre performs a celebrated dance, first removing her clothing, then her body, to a musical accompaniment by Chris Rosenkrantz and his Atlantis Playboys. This is one you must not miss. Tell all your friends, tell all your enemies, tell all the people that you do not know. The Moon and Serpent Grand Egyptian Theater of Marvels, open now for your inspection. Step right up, see the show. At 9 and 11, the immortal serpent manifests itself for your delight and your edification. Patrons of a nervous disposition may experience a roaring in the ears or dislocation of the temporal lobe, for which the Moon and Serpent Grand Egyptian Theater of Marvels is not legally responsible. We'll give you pennies for your eyes. Primeval drugs, constructive lies. And when the candles flare and shake in the shining room, we'll wake the snake. Wake the snake.
I love this. I was not expecting to get this. This was given as an early gift, and my friend presented to me, and I actually fell to my knees, in legitimate surprise, because I was like, whoa, what?
Yeah, okay, so the way I got mine was I walked into the comic book store after a disappointing visit to the game store, and meaning I didn't find anything I wanted. And I was like, I'm really low on cash, but I'll look anyway. Maybe there'll be a monthly I'll get or something. And I'm walking around, and I know some of the people who work there, so I'm like, hi. And as I'm wandering around, I hear someone go yeah, someone's actually asking if we got some sort of Moon and Magic book by Alan Moore. And I was like, oh yeah, that thing will never come out. And then I look, there it is right there in the new arrivals.
Shining,
shining like a beacon. One copy slightly damaged. And I'm like,
Mine.
So I go up there and I'm like, hey, I really want to get this book, but slightly damaged. Do you have like a more pristine copy? And they're like, no, but I give you 20% off that one. Sold. Because now I can afford it.
Sitting there appreciating that new printed book smell.
Oh, yes. A beautiful thick tome, things explained in words, sometimes in the form of comic entertainment.
And can we say, in all honesty, I understand why this took so long. Beyond the fact that it is a great creative work, which it is.
Oh, dude!
I didn't realize how involved it was going to.
Yeah. I thought it was going to be like half this size. I didn't realize it was going to be like a tome.
Yeah, no, this shit's massive. And if you're thinking, oh, okay, well, I guess the writing is equally large. No, it is not.
Yeah, there is a lot.
This is fairly small text.
Oh my god. And
the illustrations, the artwork is amazing.
It's so good. They're like some of them. Some of the Stephen Moore did a lot of the illustrations. But they also use a lot of others, like from Aubrey Beardsley. Yeah, I mean, copyright free. Like that guy's old. And a bunch of other sources, not the least of which is also like a motherfucker. Alan Moore's work himself and all of his spoken words. Like, here's the cover of the Grand Egyptian Moon and Serpent Theater movie. The Hivory working.
Yes.
Yeah.
My god.
The Hivory working, where like he and Stephen Moore summon up Saloon. Where it's just like, Actually, I love the point where Alan Moore starts freaking out.
Yes.
It's interesting. Like the fact that he would be like, no, I saw that and I freaked out. That was it. That was the freak out moment. I saw her. She's right there. She's sitting next to him. Oh my God. I've gone mad. This is it. This is the end.
Which, fair enough.
Yeah. If you just happen to see like a moon goddess sitting next to your best friend and claims that she's married to him, that's gonna be a moment.
Oh, and you and your friend agree upon the appearance of the hallucination.
Yeah, agree on the appearance of the hallucination and what it's doing.
In bullet time.
Yeah, in real time, and you're just like, I can only hope to have.
I love this shit.
So good.
It's so
beautiful. It's like I can only hope to have an experience like that one day. I probably will. I'll probably have a very similar reaction.
I
mean, when a magician finally summons his bullshit, but for real. Yeah, well, like I'm actually kind of convinced that the tulpa or the egregore is a real mental phenomenon.
Oh, it freaked me out when I saw shit.
Yeah, like
it definitely freaked me out.
Yeah, I don't know if they're real in the same way. Yeah, I don't think that they're real in the same way like the cigarette is real, but like the fact that you might be able to perceive something that isn't strict, that something that is easily, that you can see something out of the imagination of someone else without a medium, and meaning like it being on a painting or something.
Yeah,
that is freaky.
Ooh.
Did she ask if he was a god? No, she knew he wasn't.
They know.
He's a magician. They know. Yeah.
We're the ones who are actually full of bullshit and keep bothering them.
Yeah. But sometimes they ask you really interesting they give you very interesting answers. They will say things like, we are just like you, explorers in the furthest reaches of imagination, shit like that. Sometimes it
And then
gets.
yeah, sometimes they'll say really nice, epic, poetic shit like that. And sometimes they'll say shit like you ask, well, what should I do? Where should I look to? And they'll tell you some shit like, just walk north of the sky. And you're
Yeah.
just like, the
Oh,
fuck
yeah.
does that mean?
What's way more common for me is drink water. You've been sweating for hours. You're probably a little dehydrated. You might want to fix that.
Oh my god, the
Like
fifth dimensional
sometimes,
beings tell you to drink water.
yeah. They're very, very concerned with my health. Like,
Damn.
is this your card? Oh my god, that would be amazing. That would be amazing. Like you gotta get up to like, the ultimate the ultimate truth, the door of truth and everything. You open it up, is this your card? That'd be fucking amazing.
Just Jesus in a top hat.
Yeah, it's like, was this your card? Waka waka.
Okay. And then, but you know what the weird thing is? If the primal divinity ever did that straight in my face, I'd be like, I am so much more comfortable with life right now.
I know. It's like, nah, it's okay. It doesn't make sense. This is all right.
It's like, oh, it actually is an absurdism. Oh, thank
yeah. I thought I was going crazy, like it didn't make any sense. And you're just telling me, no, it doesn't make sense. Oh, okay.
Oh, thank God.
Thank God, I thought it was just me, or like one of my favorite phrases that comes out of a like deific figure from a ritual was in Grant Morrison's Flex Mentalo. Being clever is a fine thing, but sometimes what a boy needs to do is go out and meet some girls. I was like, no, man, that's the mystery of the ages right there.
Man, look, sometimes the all hyper being of the universe just wants to eat a hot dog with Peter Parker, man. Sometimes that's just
it just wants to hang out. It's like, no, I'm just hanging out with Spider-Man for a moment. It's cool, like that's, oh god, that's why we lost something special when Stan Lee died, because for the Marvel Cinematic Universe, he was that.
He really was.
He was that. He was the god of that universe, but no one recognized it, least of all him. At least the Stan Lee that appeared in those movies.
Speaking of comics, you ever have a friend who's not really that into comics or anything like that, but they're starting to, or they have, and then they ask you a question, and it's the type of question where you're like, I know I told you can ask me anything about this shit, and I will gladly explain it to you, but why in the name of fuck did you have to ask that question? We're gonna be here for 4 hours now. Have you ever had that experience?
No, that one I haven't had yet. Like most of the time when I ask a question, they immediately give me an answer with the caveat of like, okay, it's only kind of like this, but I can't, if I get any more technical, you're not going to understand anything.
I was recently asked, and you know what? No, I posed that same question to the entire chat. Comic nerds in the chat, sound off if you've ever had this kind of experience. A friend came up to me and asked me, "Hey, so what's with like the cosmology in Lucifer?" And I was like, "No." I was like, don't.
Oh, that's you're gonna have to be more specific, man, because that goes on forever.
Yeah, no, and it did.
Like you might as well just read the comics, or watch the whole show. It'll take less time.
No, I just want to understand how God works and the whole thing. No, I can't. I fucking can't. I can't. Why? It's like, oh, it can't be that I'm like, God looks like Winston Churchill. It's all complicated. It's fucking complicated, and I don't know why.
Sometimes he looks like Winston Churchill. Sometimes he sounds like Neil Gaiman. Sometimes he's a very attractive black dude.
It's real weird. And some, you know, sometimes God just floats on like a random like British cafe that's floating around the overvoid.
Yep.
And just wants to have a conversation with his son who's been pissed at him since day 2. And if anything, I just said, and if you're listening to me and going, Yogi, what the fuck did you just say? Those were words. I have no idea what that means. Yeah.
You have to just watch the show. It will take less time, seriously. You know.
But I've heard the show is not really it's not, but fuck it. It's not.
Yeah, it goes back on its own continuity several times, but not in a way that is annoying. You know, it's one of the things I have about retcons, where I was like, if the retcon is entertaining or interesting, then it succeeds. If it is annoying, then it failed, at least in my mind. You know, now, I read a lot of fucking comic books in my day, so I know from retcon. Sometimes they work, sometimes they don't. Sometimes they work in retrospect because somebody else retconned the retcon and made it awesome. Like, probably one of the greatest retcons of all time was the introduction of Parallax and Green Lantern.
Oh, holy shit.
That was one of the greatest retcons of all time.
Yes, it was.
Yeah, because, like, just the whole, like, wait, you mean there was a reason Hal Jordan went nuts? Yes.
Why, yes.
When did you know this? Just now when I wrote it. Because I read that shit by that other guy who fucking wrote this crap, and I was like, bullshit.
Shit.
I read bullshit. That and went, I gotta fix this.
Read that and went, oh, fuck no.
Oh, fuck no. Hell no.
Oh.
So what's the deal with the new 52? Oh, give up. New 52, give up. Just whatever.
What? I'm sorry. I blacked out for a minute. I disassociated.
Yeah, we don't talk about that shit because it makes no sense. If anyone is actually able to do something with the new 52 in a way that makes fucking sense, like, you're looking at one of the greatest comic writers of all time.
Oh.
Okay, so Superman is evil now. Yeah, okay, like,
so Superman is evil.
You know,
that's it.
So, like, you would have been like, I would have been. Let me put it this way: you could have just told me Mixoplick had done it, and I'd have been like, okay, I'll buy it. I'll buy it.
You know what's fucked is I get that. Yeah, that's absolutely some dumb fucking shit that he would do.
Yeah. He would absolutely, like, rewrite history just to fuck with people. And that's literally the kind of shit he does all the time.
It is. It's literally his thing. He's just a little fucking troll with horrible consequences.
Yeah. How do the Amazons reproduce? First of all, shut up. Second of all, magic. And third of all, there actually is a version of Wonder Woman where the fact that she is the youngest person on Paradise Island, on Themyscira. You know, she is the youngest. She's the one that shouldn't be. She should not be. She's made out of clay. Now,
they're all centuries old.
Yeah.
They're like a mythical race of eternal warrior women.
See, I thought that they should have still had some dudes around. You know,
no,
or like, well, I mean, like, just to answer that question, you know, been like, oh yeah, well, every once in a while, one of us goes off the island, finds somebody, you know, gets pregnant, comes back.
See, okay. This is the
or if they actually just straight up did like oh no, we just magically do it, like just really answer the question.
See, I always just assumed it was something like that. And I'll be honest with you, that's like the classical mythologist in me, like, speaking. You know, because you tell me it's like, oh yeah, no, it's like the mythical Amazons. I'm like, okay, cool. But there are no men. No, it doesn't matter. What do you mean it doesn't matter? This is a mythology where the big angry sky god gave birth to his son by sewing his son's fetus from his dead mother into his calf.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, I forget. Was that Achilles or Perseus?
Neither. That was Dionysus.
Oh, it's Dionysus. That's right.
Yeah.
Oh, geez. Yeah. Complicated. But trust me, being into comic books and reading mythology, you start to realize, oh, it's all put together constantly, re-put together constantly.
Oh, it's constantly, it's eternally reconstituted.
Yeah.
It's the
Aeneid, what is it? Was it the Theochemy? A Theonogy. The one by, it's Ovid, wasn't it? Who did the Theonomy?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Where it puts all of the gods in context, and puts them in a single pantheon and blah, blah, blah. That was that was fucking Greek mythology's fucking Days of Future Past. That was their fucking Crisis on Infinite Earths, okay?
Mainly because it was one man going, I'm fucking tired of this shit. Make a single timeline.
Yeah, I need a single timeline because shit doesn't make sense because it's mythology. These are stories. They're all symbolic and they don't necessarily the meaning of things changes. And so the symbols change.
Constantly.
Yeah, constantly. Like, for instance, Dionysus is an older god than Zeus by quite a lot. Even more so, Persephone also is older than Zeus. She is older than Hades. She is older than Demeter.
Yes, and also the relationship between the ancient relation and chthonic relationship between Persephone and Dionysus, and people go, that's not a thing. Aha. It is the original thing. That goes all the way back to the Minoan civilization, and that's like one of the few bits of
actually mythology. I don't know, was it Minoan or what? Mycenaean?
Oh, Mycenaean.
Mycenaean. Yeah, the Mycenaeans.
God.
Yeah. Oh, thank you for the donation, Alexi.
Many years of
I cannot wait for like the eventual linguist who cracks the Minoan writing system. I can't fucking wait for it.
Gonna learn a lot of interesting things about the myth of Medusa, I guarantee you.
And the Minotaur. Like, I want to know what the bull's about. I want to know what the fucking bull is. I want to know. I want to know so bad. Also, they were a moneyless society. That's crazy.
Yep.
And I want to point out, I'm not saying it's
Superboy punctuality. I don't care.
Yes. Also, yes. Oh, actually, speaking of like comics and retcons and shit, let me ask you: did you watch Agatha?
Oh yeah, I did. I finished it. Yeah.
What did you think?
Okay. As a Marvel television experience, underwhelmed. As a television show, extremely good.
Yes.
I
agree.
Yeah.
I agree. I like it. I have slightly mixed feelings about it, but they're mostly positive.
Yeah, exactly. I'm right there with you. Like, I loved the twist. I thought that was good. I like that we now have Wiccan and he's a sad boy.
Of course, Wiccan's a sad.
Yeah.
He's a fucking fraction of Mephisto's soul crafted as a person in the womb of
of the Scarlet Witch.
Yeah, of course he's a sad boy.
Oh my God.
And hey,
Catherine Kahn was the first naked butt in the MCU. Oh, really? Oh, and
yeah,
very good.
She was. I loved her. She was very good.
Yogi's favorite movie is the buttercream one tongue out.
And hey, we got Wiccan. We got openly gay Wiccan. And you know what that means? That means we're gonna get Hulkling, and they're gonna fuck. It's gonna be confirmed live on television that they fuck.
Well, we're gonna have to get back to the MCU proper, which I think they're going to be doing. Like, I think that's really what the new Captain America movie is going to be kicking off. It's like, all right, we got it. Hope you like it. We're doing a new, totally different thing. Fuck Kang. We're putting him on the back burner if we ever get back to that shit.
Kang.
Yeah, I was like, I gotta be honest. I was sort of underwhelmed by the idea of Kang. I was like, isn't that just kind of Thanos all over again? I mean, he's a different character, but he's still like a megalomaniacal maniac who's trying to take over the world, take over the universe. You know, he's just also trying to take over time. And it kind of starts out with him having already done that.
Well, yeah, but you know, that's how this big bad shit works. It's essentially the same threat in a slightly different package.
Yeah, but couldn't it be a significantly different package?
Nope.
Yeah. So like for example, like I don't know how I'm going to feel about Robert Downey Jr. being Doctor Doom. Could be great. Could be ass. Could be somewhere in the middle. You know, yes, Massimo. No, see, he had to put his 2 cents in. Oh.
My cat says nothing, for he sleeps.
That's America's ass, sir. But no, I'm really looking forward to Captain America because I'm like, all right, this is going to be it. This is going to be where we're showing what direction that we're going to be going in, and that would be that's what the franchise, that's what that whole thing needs, because through half of the problems with a lot of the stuff in the MCU lately, I'm like, I know that fully half of these problems you could do nothing about. Too many fucked up things happened. You had COVID, you had lockdown, you had the writer's strike, and then your fucking main man went down. That is not, that's 3 punches. That's not 1, 2. That's 1, 2, 3, boom, down, knockout.
That is not conducive to a high work yield.
No, that is not. No, that is not conducive to quality. That is not conducive of anything. And the fact that Loki 2 is as good as it is, actually, I think Loki 2 is pretty excellent. But the fact that we even got that is a minor miracle. Whereas
I liked that last Thor movie. I don't care.
I liked it, but it wasn't as good as Ragnarok. It didn't have. There's this ephemeral thing that's missing that I can't quite identify. That
Ragnarok was one of the most comic book movies in a long time.
Yeah, well, like, it's really obvious that they were trying to set up the Young Avengers, which I was like, well, that's laudable, but I think the Young Avengers are best used not as the Young Avengers, but simply as the young members of the Avengers. You know what I mean?
Yes.
You know, like don't lock them into generations. That's not. I don't think that's going to work very well. But have them be involved in the actual Avengers plot. You know, like, and I'm still mad. Because there was one thing about the Marvels that I hated. And that was, in that movie, is a backstory that wouldn't have made an amazing movie. The whole transformation of Captain Marvel and why she destroyed an entire planet. I'm like, that's a whole movie we didn't get to see. Why didn't you make that first? Like, I really want to see that. And I don't get to see it because it's in the backstory. Why would you make the most interesting part of the plot the backstory?
Well, the charts.
Well, like, yeah, well, that was the problem. Like, they were trying to work on the chart as opposed to, you know what? We really want to introduce Kamala Khan and all this stuff. Well, it was especially galling because one of their fucking characters literally leaves the universe. And even though I like that, I like the X-Men reveal at the end a lot. That should not have been the highlight of the movie. That should have been the cherry on top.
Yeah.
You know, like,
yeah.
And it's not like the Marvels didn't let me put it this way. It would have been better to have a second Captain Marvel movie and then do a movie and then do the Marvels as like the Kamala Khan movie.
Okay. Huh. Yeah.
You know,
actually,
because then you would have been like, oh, okay. Well, like then this kind of goofy tone works really well, this goofier tone. You know, because you're like, oh, okay, it's kind of a different character, but she's related to Captain Marvel. Like Captain Marvel's just kind of coming into her story. You know? That'd have been great. You know, it had a decent conceit. I just
Nah, but that would, that would require a thought.
Yeah, that would require them to have done something a bit differently than what they planned.
Yes.
Although I and there's one show in my opinion that has no excuse for not continuously running in the Marvel shows, and that's She-Hulk. Because you can do anything with that. You can do anything with that. She can cross timelines. She can complain about retcons.
She can be Ally McBeal.
She could be Ally McBeal. Yeah, you could do literally anything with that show and not have to worry about real continuity. I
always loved that, by the way. I always loved the fact that she was an attorney. This is amazing.
I know. You know, well, that was that was all John Byrne and stuff, just being like, yeah, I want to make She-Hulk an attorney. Why? She's just lawyer to superheroes.
Well, what does she do during the day? She has to make money.
Yeah, he was just tired of her just being Hulk with tits, you know, because that's kind of all she was. She was like, it's kind of like the problem with Spider-Woman, you know, except Spider-Woman isn't even Spider-Man with tits. She's like, she shoots lasers like a spider. What? She flies like a spider. What? Were you? What? Okay. All right. Well, none of that makes sense.
No. It makes perfect sense, Jack. Because you see, she has to be a different and unique character, but without us actually writing a female character.
Yeah, like really the majority of the Spider-Woman comic is basically Halle Berry's Catwoman kind of level of writing. It's not great, you know. And you're just sort of like, I mean, if you just ogle a hot chick, yeah, sure, fine, it delivers.
And it's a shame because much like Halle Berry's Catwoman, there was a potential there.
Oh, there's huge potential. Huge potential. Not even close to being reached. You know, like that. Yeah, like it's weird going like I didn't like I wasn't really sure I wanted Halle Berry to be Catwoman. She's the least of that movie's problems. In fact, she's not even one of the problems. It's literally everything else. You know, I'm looking at this and I'm like, oh, poor Halle Berry. She's trying so hard. Like, she's doing everything she can to try to turn this turkey around, but it's just not happening.
I think also the fact that movie happened in the wake of Elektra didn't help. I don't think I'm misreading that either. I think that did not happen. I'm sorry, was your brain protecting you from that information for a little while?
It kind of was, because like that, because we didn't want to hire Ben Affleck again. I mean, the minute they did the Elektra movie, I was like, why didn't you just make another Daredevil movie and have like Elektra kind of be the stealth headliner? That you could have done that and that would have worked. Instead, you made this, which is you made a Daredevil movie, but cut out Daredevil, but didn't fucking change any of that. I don't care that much about Elektra by herself. And let's be honest, nobody does.
But even she deserved better than that.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, absolutely. Like, ooh. All right, one of the problems was Jennifer Garner was just not that good to begin with. I didn't buy it.
As
a Matt Murdock, Ben Affleck was serviceable. I wouldn't say he was great, but it worked well enough. The show nailed it. Show nailed it. You know, that, I'm like, no, that guy.
Vince Vaughn, terrifying.
Yeah. Yeah. Vince Vaughn, terrifying, but like, you know, like, come on, like, just we want it. Daredevil. You know, I don't care what anyone says. Look, I love Michael Clark Duncan, but we all know fucking Kingpin, a white dude.
Mad love to Michael Clark Duncan.
Mad love of Michael Clark Duncan. Like he was great, but I found him going like he's playing a different character.
Also, why did I say Vince Vaughn? It's Vincent D'Onofrio.
That's what you're talking about. Yeah, Vincent D'Onofrio. Oh, yeah, no. He embodied Kingpin from the word go.
Fuck did I? Woo!
Minute he fucking killed that guy with the car door, I was like, oh no, he got it. Understood the fucking assignment.
I love the roles where someone goes up to Vincent D'Onofrio and goes, "Hey, so I need you to be the craziest asshole right now." Just go full ham, and he does.
Oh my god! So here's something that I didn't realize. Speaking of Vincent D'Onofrio playing crazy people, the movie The Cell.
Yeah.
Okay.
Love it. I don't care what anyone else says. I love it.
Yeah. But it's the definition of hot garbage.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Look. You can, I will agree with you up, down, left, right about the writing, about some of the casting. I will agree with you. That being said, Tarsem Singh's cinematography.
Oh, yeah.
Is fucking phenomenal.
Flawless.
It's
on another level.
It's a very pretty movie. All his movies are very pretty movies.
Yeah, no. This is not an adaptation of Stephen King's The Cell. This is the Vincent D'Onofrio movie with the J-Lo in it. The Cell, Tarsem Singh film. Now, and it also has Vince Vaughn in it.
It does have
Vince Vaughn in it. Yeah,
it does.
The main character.
And he's perfectly useless. I love it.
Yeah. Now, okay, so I watched The Cell and I'm like, I get it. This is that whole like if you could kill a serial killer before they were born, you know, like it's that question. Okay, I get it.
Yeah.
Then I saw it again. See, I thought that was the subtext.
No, that's
no,
the text.
it's just the text. And I was so busy looking at the subtext, I didn't bother to realize
how on the surface,
how on the fucking nose it is at every fucking corner. Where I was like, so you're telling me you wrote a story about, you know, if this one woman was just allowed to have an abortion, this would happen.
Oh my God.
I appreciate the balls that takes, but I'm going to slap you. I'm pro-choice, and I'm going to slap you.
No, you're not, Jack. You're not going to slap me. You know why? Because look, I dressed up Jennifer Lopez as a surrealist Virgin Mary with lighting.
And without it, and in an outfit that makes it look like she doesn't have any skin.
And peacocks for some reason.
And I'm not gonna lie. That movie has all the moments that I thought J-Lo looked hottest.
It is an amazing film to look at.
Oh yeah. Any frame of that film is a painting. Any frame of that film is a painting. But when you get to the plot, you just sort of like, dude.
Oh my God!
It's Know the Fall. We'll put it that way. It's Know the Fall.
No. There are moments in The Fall where I'm like, you work with demons. You work with you Tarsum Singh are invoking arcane powers because the thing that got me about The Fall was when I found out that there's no special effects in it. There's no special effects.
Well, there are no visual effects. There's no post effects.
Yeah, none of that. All of that shit is as filmed.
Yeah, in camera.
The scene where it transitions from the face of the villain of the story to that fragmented rock formation in the desert that looks just like his face.
Yeah.
And you realize that it's not computer generated. They had to arrange rocks. And it just perfectly melts into it. I'm like, no.
That's insane. You know?
Witchcraft.
Yeah, The Fall's a great movie. The Cell is one of those, I don't know how to put it, but it's a feminist movie that was definitely written by a man.
That looks like a 9 Inch Nails video.
Yeah, that looks like a 9 Inch Nails video. Like, whereas if it had, I found myself going like, look, if we could just focus on the Vincent D'Onofrio really wants to fuck J-Lo in the ass aspect of this whole thing, we've got something.
No. I needed more scenes of him dressed as a vulture.
Oh no, he could still be dressed as a vulture. I'm not saying that.
Fucking turning Vince Vaughn's intestines on a fucking music box cord.
Yeah.
That shit was crazy.
Yeah. But if it had just all been about sexual frustration, like the movie would have been a lot more. It would have been less hot garbage. You know, if it had been about something a little.
Oh no! It would have a
little simpler. You know,
it would have gone from being hot garbage to being pulp trash.
Yeah,
which is much more marketable.
Yeah, exactly. Everyone would have been like, oh, okay. You know, it wouldn't have been like, I mean, clearly, I look at Tarsum Singh's The Cell, and I'm like, oh, I know the movie he was trying to make because we've seen it. It was Guillermo del Toro's Nightmare Alley. That's the type of movie he was trying to make.
Yes. I
would actually recommend watching The Cell. Oh yeah, by the way, the reason it's called The Cell is because of insemination. because like I said, all the things about it being about abortion are right on the nose. It's so on the nose you miss it because you're like,
there's no
that's
way.
stupid, like, but no, it is.
No. The fact that the water motif in his murder operations come from when she stumbles upon the baptism memory, and it's the most bizarre Southern Gothic Tom Waits looking shit on the planet.
Why is there all this water? Oh, because a woman's water breaks before she. And then you want to slap somebody.
Well, you see, it's the water breaking before life, and that's like the baptism because it's the new life of the spirit, and these two things are in simultaneous harmony yet conflict. No shit.
Like no, like I get it. It's one of those. It's a movie where I'm like, oh no, I get it. I just think this plot is fucking weak.
Like see, here's the thing. It's not just that. Okay, it's not just that you get it. It's not just that it's hyper obvious and simplistic in its approach. It's also the fact that as you watch the film, it beats you over the head.
Oh yeah,
with that point, like it's a broken bottle. Like it beats you with this shit.
Yeah, like another way of fucking putting it is okay. It also does one thing that I absolutely loathe. I absolutely loathe this.
Yeah, what is it?
Don't give me a scientific explanation for anything if the answer is just going to be magic. Just use magic. Like if he had been like if Vincent D'Onofrio had been like a sorcerer in the modern world and this was an illusion he was creating or an alternate dimension he was creating, it would change nothing about the plot. It would change, and it would actually work better for the story.
May I tell you something that may infuriate you?
Yeah.
So
it's like my problem with fucking Assassin's Creed. It's like, oh god, this past life regression bullshit does not matter. He can just be an immortal assassin.
But you see the aliens. No. Stop it.
Does it ever matter that you run into? No. Does that stop me from like running through Paris during the revolution and killing Napoleon? No. So get rid of it.
I also just Assassin's Creed always gets me because I can't unsee the fact that the plot with the aliens and like the reincarnate and all this shit that's going on in there is literally just Scientology in a video game.
Oh yeah, no, it totally is.
That's just what it is, and I'm like, huh. And you keep making more games to get people to buy to get the next piece of the weird mythology. You know what?
I see what you're doing there. I see what you're doing. And the thing is it could have been, like I said, perfectly okay if it was just like, all right, he's an immortal assassin. Like, just start there. I don't need the whole, like, hundreds of years of the future, a man steps in to a virtual reality machine, which allows him to go back in time several hundred years back in the past. Dude, I've gone cross-eyed. Like, what the fuck? What the fuck was the point of this? If aliens weren't gonna fucking land, fucking in the middle of that game, then none of that science fiction shit matters.
But Jack, Leonardo da Vinci and Ben Franklin for some reason.
Hey, whatevs. I don't mind if he beats Benjamin Franklin and Leonardo da Vinci. Hell, I don't mind if he fucking meets Leonardo da Vinci during World War II somehow.
I'd be interested to hear the explanation.
Yeah, I'd be interested to hear that. But why do we need all this extra aliens and virtual reality, super science crap? Because the answer is magic. How does this technology work? Magic.
Magic.
Nothing about the virtual reality shit and the aliens has anything to do with the game. It's not like all of a sudden you're fighting on a space station, which would have been weird, but like I would have been like, well, okay, you took it all the way. I'm fighting aliens now.
I think it's why like I love successful urban fantasy so much. Do you know what I mean? It's one of those things where it's like successful storylines that are able to have magic and technology coexist or commingle or interact with each other and actually like, do so in a way that doesn't piss you off. Those are amazing.
Well, the thing I like about urban fantasy or urban horror is the idea of taking something that is usually really grandiose, really truly fantastic, and fitting it into the mundane world.
I mean, because if you think about it, if any of this shit was real, that's exactly what would happen.
Yeah, like Baba Yaga living in an RV. But she's still out in the middle of the swamp, and you're like, oh, she's in an RV. Oh, okay.
And the RV still has chicken legs.
But it's yeah. But eventually it does stand up, and it still has chicken legs. You're like, what the fuck? Shit like that. Shit like that. I love like, the guy, the manager, or the chef at like the Burger King being like a fire giant or something. Just yeah, fuck you. Like flipping burgers all day. Hey, you know what it's like? Give him a New Jersey accent. Like, hey, over here, like
Jersey Fire Giant. Yes.
Jersey Fire Giant, shit like that. I really, I'm consistently entertained by. Like, I love that stuff because it makes the world, by bringing the fantastic into the modern world without leeching it of its fantastic properties, you make the normal world seem way more interesting.
Yes.
Because you find yourself going like, oh, well, what if? Like you just called that like Irish guy a leprechaun. What if he was? Like, what if he was? You'd be in trouble. Like, you'd be fucked. Be like, oh, hey, here,
What if the local distillery was run by Clernicons?
Yeah. Yeah. Like stuff like that. And take it further. In my opinion, you take it further than J.K. Rowling did. Way further.
Well, of course you can, because her world building is decent but subpar, and her characters are dog shit. So
yeah. Because I always hated the it's in a magical world, because I was always like, that's just an excuse for why Britain doesn't blow up near the end of the movie or at the end of the story.
You want to hear something that'll make you laugh a little bit?
Yeah. All right, you take care, John.
Oh, bye, John. There's a D20 season called Misfits and Magic, and basically the entire point of that campaign is, hey, we're gonna point out how stupid Harry Potter is. It's the entire thing, because the entire story is four American students get transferred to a British secret magical academy.
Oh no. Oh no.
Oh no, it's fucking great. It's fucking great. So many questions of just like, wait, I'm sorry, hold on. Your staircases move, but you expect us to get to fucking class on time? How does that work?
Yeah. Yeah. Oh God, the Countess came up with a character yesterday for Babylon. It doesn't have a name yet, but the character quirk is that the snakes talk to her. She's a Medusa, and her snakes talk to her, but they act
Okay.
like mean girls.
Oh no.
Yeah, it's like, oh, put that one in the burn book. She's just trying to make fetch happen. Oh my God, tell her she looks fat in those jeans. I know she doesn't, but there is no way we're gonna let her. Like,
There's this poor Gorgon just in the middle going like, guys, stop it.
would you just stop it? The assholes. You're being bitches.
I can't say that to her. She's my cousin.
Yeah.
Guys, I'm gonna get in trouble.
Guys gonna get in trouble. You know, like, oh man. But like also you think about like I like also like to think about like what kind of like modern day problems a monster would have. You know, like for example, like the vampires in Babylon do show up in mirrors.
Okay.
Because I'm gonna be honest. I'm like, if you can't see yourself in a mirror, how you gonna dress? Not literally put clothing on, but know what even looks good on you. You have no fucking clue. You probably look like a clown.
See, that's why, and I'm mad that no one's ever done it. That's why I think there should be like a vampire narrative in which it's brought up. Oh no, we can see ourselves in mirrors now. Now, what do you mean now? Oh, the reason that we couldn't like in the 13 and 15 to 1500s was because all mirrors were backed with silver.
Yeah.
Once acrylic paint happened, we could just see shit now.
Yeah. And have it be more like a fairy thing, you know?
Yeah,
it's like,
and if you think
silver
about
just
it,
hates you, you know? It hates you, so it won't even show you your reflection.
and actually if you think about it, that would work really well, because like the time period in which like silverback mirrors stopped becoming like the main thing is kind of when vampires got sexy.
Yeah.
So
good point. Yeah.
So that you see. See, if I cared to write shit down, it would happen.
Trust your vampire friend isn't an asshole who helped you. No. Well, that was an interesting sound. What was that? He went. I can't even reproduce it.
Yeah, dogs make weird sounds, man.
Yeah. I'm so used to cat sounds.
I'm getting used to cat sounds. It's interesting.
You know, like I'm like a Medusa has to be able to look at herself in a mirror. She just will feel bad about herself, you know, like what if being a Medusa really is all about body dysmorphia?
I also like the online trope of Medusa's a lesbian and dates a blind woman.
Yes.
I've always loved this trope because I'm just like, that works on literally every level of
it's
Gorgon
so
mythology.
Nice. All right, take care, Sebastian.
Oh, bye. But dude, I was not okay. I love my cat. I was not ready for how finicky.
Oh yeah, you think you know.
I know that's the thing is I know I truly don't yet, but just like the precursors, like, dude, what? Like, okay. 2 weeks ago, I slipped a disc in my back, so I was just kind of like laid out for a week. And so I ended up like sleeping on the couch because the couch was firmer.
Mm-hmm.
And he got used to, oh, the human sleeps on the couch now. I sleep on their stomach.
Oh,
cool. And then my back was better. And I went back to not sleeping on the couch. And he lost his fucking mind.
Yeah. He's like, what are you doing? You sleep on the couch and I sleep on you. What's this bed? What's this bed nonsense?
Yeah, even though I'm sitting there and I'm looking at him like, dude,
this is a completely different part of the house. This is a completely different part. Even if it's in the same room, it's like, this is a different part of the room. You're not supposed to be there.
But this is where we started, dude. My brother and my brother and Satan. This is where we started in this section. We went there temporarily. We are coming back. No.
Yeah, but this is where it was best. I don't understand why you're having this problem. I've made it. I adjusted my schedule around you, and now you're going back. How dare you?
Dare you?
Actually, one of the things about I wanted to do with vampires is I wanted them all to be like a little Nosferatu-like.
Yes.
But they're all sexy anyway, just because they're just all super confident. And because they mainly hang around other monsters, they're just sort of like, oh. It's like, how could you do that? She looks like a rat. I'm like, I fucked that girl yesterday. She's literally the Walking Dead. So, like, you know, I can trust the intestines all stay in the same place.
How can you fuck her? She looks like a rat. Rat woman behind you gets offended, slaps you, walks out.
Yeah. Exactly. Like, it was my whole, like, it's partially my whole, like, talk about queer sexuality. You know, which really, honestly, is just open sexuality.
Yes.
Yeah, you know, it's like that's some action straight people, you know, heterosexual people could actually get in on if they let themselves. You know, which is my big frustration. You know, like look, Mom. Look.
No, you're not about to tell me anything.
I know. I'm not going to tell you anything. I'm talking to the everything. You know, like gay people came up with bears in order to describe what they're attracted to. Fat, hairy guys. The absolute antithesis of what a heterosexual man is supposed to feel is attractive. Not even in terms of just their personal sexual attraction, but what they're supposed to look like. You know, and when that came up, I was like, yeah, that makes sense. And they're like, well, what are you talking about? I'm like, dude, haven't you noticed? Look, I don't care what normal straight women say, they're liars. Okay? Because all you have to do is find a girl who's a little bit weird. We're not even talking like alt culture levels, just a little bit weird. And all of a sudden you start realizing,
like maybe she reads Emily Dickinson.
Yeah. And all of a sudden you start realizing that the breadth of what human beings are sexually attracted to, no matter what they look like themselves, is much broader than you have been led to believe. I will never forget Little John. Little John, because he was big, he was a big fat guy, but he was also like a Ren Fair nerd.
Yes.
He's a big BDSM Ren Fair nerd. Every girl, you know, the girls that were really into him were these little elfin things. You know, like what every white boy off the lake wants. Those type of girls, all over him. Couldn't get enough of him.
No, Chadwick. Those are for Little John.
Yeah. But like, it was like, first of all, he was a big enough guy to have two women on his lap, right? Like, I can't make that happen. I'm not large enough. I got to do like some sort of acrobatic shit in order to like make that happen. He could do that and be comfortable because not only was he a heavy guy, he was also like, you know, like 6'7". And this big dude. So, and I was like, he's a big, heavy guy. He's well groomed. I mean, I'll say that, like, grooming, that's a universal. Grooming is a universal.
Who the fuck are you telling?
Well, I'm not telling you. I'm telling whoever's listening that doesn't know this. Grooming is the universal constant of attraction.
No. Because I'm going to... That's the thing, though. I'm going to say this. I say who are you telling also speaking to the everything. Because here's the thing. The only people who legitimately say they don't... that they're not paying too much attention to other people's grooming, the people who openly say that are themselves lost in their own filth forever.
Oh,
like it's
because like they don't notice it.
Yeah, that's the thing. The normative response is a desire for hygiene. That's
a key. Like, even if you're into like some dirty, nasty things happening when the sex actually happens.
That's only for then.
Yeah, that's for then.
That's for then. It is not for anywhere.
Yeah. The grooming, the important to attraction, and it doesn't have to be. You don't have to go overboard with it, but you do have to do it. And I realized, I keep rediscovering how badly off young straight guys are in this department. To the point where I'm like, dude. Like, I was reminded the other day because, like, okay, so this one person was talking about how, like, normal heterosexual straight guys, the reason they want to get married is because they don't know how to take care of themselves. And I was like, eh? And then she goes about proving it.
Yeah, no, it's a thing. It is a thing.
I had to clean the kitchen after that. I had to clean the kitchen because I was like,
I have to do something.
I gotta clean something. You know, like, I gotta clean something right now. Like, even if I don't get it spick and span, I gotta fucking clean something just to prove to myself that I can do it. Because it's one of those, like, I keep forgetting I know how to cook. You ever have that? Like, you're like, I have a domestic skill. And you just take it for granted because it's one of the things that you just do.
Well, I mean, oh, you mean in the sense of do I ever like not think of it as like more than just a thing that I do constantly?
Yeah, when you realize that it's not something everyone does.
Oh, all the time. All the time. Like, I forget that people buy jars of tomato sauce. I forget that that's a thing. I forget that.
I have been forgetting that because I am now so used to making tomato sauce by myself from like now it's not all fresh. I get the tomatoes from a can.
But
they're Cerzanos. You know, they're San Marzanos, but
as I told you, best brand.
Yeah. I'm like, San Marzanos. Yeah. The funny thing is, I'm actually pretty sure that the Trader Joe's brand, which is a little cheaper, are also San Marzanos.
They probably are.
They're probably the exact same tomato.
No, they probably are.
Yeah.
But
the San Marzanos, which is a type of tomato, I'll buy those in a can, but like if it's one of those like, let's have something with spaghetti sauce, I'm like cutting an onion, fucking mincing a garlic. I'm getting the food processor ready, and actually, usually what I start with is I roast a red pepper. I really like roasted red pepper in tomato sauce.
Yeah, no, I could see that. That's really good. Like, I'm always like a chili flake mixing with the garlic and the olive oil kind of guy.
Yeah, I actually have gotten to the point where I have a jar full of little chili peppers that I just tear up. When
Absolutely,
you put the onions in there, then I put the red peppers. After that's been going for a while, I put in the garlic because you don't want the garlic to be in there too long, otherwise it starts to burn and it gets nasty.
Yeah, you got to time it right so that the onions get translucent around the same time that the garlic goes golden, but not burnt.
Yeah. And the time on time on onions is more generous than time on garlic. So you usually want to put that in last before you start putting in the tomato.
Yes.
And I like squeezing it. I always take a little sip of the tomato juice because it's so good.
But yeah, no, and I feel this, and then like every so often I get reminded of the fact that like ragu is a thing, and I'm like, oh, huh, like I just
yeah, I've been working on a chili recipe, much to the chagrin of the rest of the house.
Oh, is it burning their eyes in the air yet?
Yeah.
Yay.
It always does. But like I found this recipe for carne asada. And next time what I'm gonna do when I make it, I'm gonna put in one habanero.
Ooh.
Because because I was always fascinated with the giant bag of really big chilies, and I was like, what do you fucking do with that? Like, because I never encountered a recipe that I hadn't yet encountered a recipe that used them, so I never bought them. And I was like, how do you use these? And I found a carne asada recipe that explains what you do with those damn things. I was like, oh, that's it? You just boil that shit and like put the rest of the stuff in, and then you get this goopy, that you get that beautiful spicy redness. Yep.
Strings of dried peppers hanging in plastic bags in Mexican bodegas are some of the most delicious things on the fucking planet.
Dude, yeah. Like
actually, you know what you should try to make sometime for yourself is you should try to make I think barbacoa, like the Mexican like chopped shredded meat that has like it has a bunch of spices but also like cocoa mixed in with it.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's real good. It's real good.
Yeah, you're right. I probably should. Oh, yeah, that's also like a secret ingredient. Cocoa's also a secret ingredient. A lot of stuff. Actually, you know what? I wouldn't say it was a secret, but for me, barbecue sauce, sometimes baker's chocolate, sometimes not. But always coffee.
Yes.
Always coffee. And fuck sugar, molasses.
That's this.
Yeah. Fuck grain sugar, molasses. Use molasses. Don't even bother with brown sugar. Just molasses. That gives you the smoky flavor. That's what gives you that beautiful smoky barbecue flavor and smell.
I don't have a bottle of liquid smoke. Then why the fuck are we
here? Yeah. I realized that liquid smoke is actually just intended. Like if you're doing it over a real grill, you don't need liquid smoke. You need molasses, because the liquid smoke is just there to imitate the smell of grilled meat that has been covered in molasses, that has a molasses base to it. That's what the liquid smoke is there imitating. You know, now granted, there are some recipes where, yeah, a little bit of liquid smoke is a little bit preferable simply because of how much liquid, you know, just
Mhm.
if you need just like a drop or two, you know, it's better to use the liquid smoke. But not all liquid smokes are made equal. It's so fucking hard to find one that doesn't leave that chemical aftertaste on your tongue.
Mm.
You know, like that's the thing. I know they exist, but I haven't found it yet. Molasses is hard to come by here. Use honey. Honey's a good substitute, but like the molasses is what gives it the rich flavor. I also realized another idea, but this takes a bit more coordination, that after I drain the sauce, I'm probably going to keep the pulpy remains
Mm.
and use that in the barbecue sauce.
You're kind of applying gravy logic to this, and I
Yeah,
appreciate
exactly.
Yeah.
You know, like, but anyway, that just goes to prove, like, oh, wait a minute, I can cook. I'm not a chef, but like, I can cook. You know, and it never occurred. I keep forgetting that not everyone does that. You know, like not because guys
Yeah.
are really, really discouraged from gaining any sort of domestic skills. And it's weird because we're the only culture that does that. I have never seen another culture where a man learning a domestic skill was more demonized than in America.
It's weird too because
Yeah, Baker's
like,
cocoa and chili is good. It's very good. Brings it all
fuck yes it
together.
is. Fuck yes it is. Oh God, I'm hungry
Yeah.
now.
Carrots and bolognese, you know. Gives a little something something.
Oh yeah, no, that's like literally like required. Like bolognese, like has like other vegetables and like sometimes like meat and like shit put in it.
Yeah.
Like it's like a requirement of the sauce. I God, I but yeah, no, it's weird because like I love food. Like food is fucking awesome. So I can't imagine a world and I love food as much as I do, and I don't want to be involved in the process of making it. Like, do you know what I mean? It seems strange to me.
Yeah. Like if you're out in the wild, you kill an animal, you're gonna be digging around looking for rosemary at least.
I would hope so.
Yeah, like you'd be like, all right, ooh, basil. You know,
Kill deer, put deer shank in fire until burnt, then eat. God no.
oh no, get a little some extra shit there. No, you're gonna be boiling down seawater to get to the salt. You know, like come on. You know, like yeah, I know what you mean, but like I think what it is it's that Kama Sutra thing. You know, Western civilization doesn't have anything like the Kama Sutra. It does not have a tradition of like, this is how you please the senses. You know, it doesn't have anything like that. And in fact, we see it as superfluous.
Or more specifically, anytime that Western civilization has had something like that, it tends to be a come with me into the basement. We don't tell the outsiders about this information that gets passed along.
Oh yeah, like a real Irish stew.
We don't.
Yeah. Like dude, like a real Irish stew is amazing.
No. That's grandma's secret.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And every grandma had every Irish grandma had their own like special sauce for the secret recipe, secret ingredient. You know,
guys, we can't be talking about this. Fucking banshee's gonna come and kill all of us. God damn it.
Well, it's more like, you can't be talking about that. There's British people here. There's British people over there. No, just give it to them. Don't tell them what the recipe is. Just say, oh, it's an old family recipe. Oh, you know, give them some leprechaun bullshit, and they'll laugh and they'll stop asking you.
Dear Saint Joseph, these fuckers believe that soda bread is a delicacy. Don't tell them otherwise. Don't tell them it's the cheapest thing possible.
Well, we didn't have yeast.
It's only sell them the dessert version with the raisins. Don't let them know we've got a savory one for regular meals.
Oh man. Yeah. Or like, you know, some sort of like, actually my garlic bagnacolda. Good stuff. You'll be farting for hours.
But it's delicious.
Oh, it's worth it. It's so worth it. You know?
I had an amazing...
The ship carrying the east sank. We made do.
Correct. Oh, my God. I had an amazing moment the other day where someone who was visiting me was just like, wow, your house really smells like garlic and cloves. And I'm like, thank God.
Good. You know, yeah, that's how you know cooking's happening. You know, damn. Like every culture that has food worth eating uses garlic. Grows almost everywhere. You know, well, not everywhere, but it's easy to cultivate.
It's fucking delicious.
Fucking delicious. You know, Chinese put it in everything. You know, hey, hell, Japanese put it in a bunch of stuff too.
It's like, of course,
they got muss. Yeah.
Of course, my house smells like garlic and cloves. I have to keep the white people and the spirits away.
I hate the processed foods addiction that America has. Like, I get it. It's easy. I'm not saying I'm above the occasional lean cuisine. But, come on, man.
See, here's the thing. Here's now confirm this as a phenomenon. It's not just an addiction that we have, in the sense that, have you seen this phenomena of Europeans coming to America for the first time and writing these fascinating reviews of what it was like to eat Doritos? This is a thing.
No. Doritos specifically, no.
This is a thing, by the way. They write about it as if they had taken crack cocaine for the first time. It's amazing. It's like this common theme of just like, well, yeah, you know, I was at a party and my American friend introduced, again, it's like drugs, introduced me to Doritos. I had one, and then before I knew it, I had gone through 6 of the small bags.
They have 4 different kinds of Captain Crunch. 4. We got 1 red box, blue outfit. You know him, you love him. It's Captain.
It's the Captain. Apparently, there was this Polish man who overstayed his visa just so he could have more Doritos, and he is admitting to this online.
Oh my God.
And but you know what's
amazing? That's our prosciutto, you know?
See, but I love hearing shit like that because it makes me go, oh, so America, we're just awful, huh? Everything. No. If you lived here, you'd be like this too. Shut the fuck up.
Yeah, but we take it to the extent where so many of us don't even know how to cook, you know, or clean.
Oh,
like people act like they have no idea how to clean something, and and there are times when I'm like, I'm starting to believe you. I'm starting to believe you don't know how to clean anything.
Have
You know?
have you ever had a moment where, okay, Jack, you have a dishwasher in your house,
I
but
do.
also,
Yeah.
you operate under, I'm assuming, the similar logic to me of like, we run the dishwasher when the dishwasher is full and there's been a lot of stuff that's gone in it. If I'm just taking like a single plate or a coffee cup and just for myself and no one else, I'm probably gonna wash it in the sink and
Right.
put it
Yeah.
and then put it in the drain board to dry.
Right.
I have had the experience of someone seeing the drain board in my in the half of my kitchen sink, like having multiple things on it drying,
Yeah.
and them going like, "Oh man, come on, you shouldn't leave dirty dishes just sitting in the sink like that." And I'm like, those are drying."
That's the dry rack.
And then they look at me like, very confused, and I'm like, "What?" And they're like, "But you have a dish." I'm like, "Do you know how much water that it? What?"
Yeah. Sometimes I don't want to just run the dishwasher. Sometimes I do, but usually when it's full or I can't put anything else in there or I need to save some fucking time.
But it was also the fact that this person acted like the concept of the drying rack was a little strange or one they weren't familiar with, and I was like, "My God, what the fuck do you do? Like, what do you do?"
Yeah, yeah, that's a new one. I thought everyone knew what a drying rack was. Like,
I, uh,
do you know how to clean a stove? I do. I didn't know that was a special skill.
You don't even have to think that hard. They make special things just for it now.
Yeah. It's actually quite easy. It's quite simple to clean things. Now, do I get lazy? Sure. Sure. But
do we sometimes get so lazy that it's like, oh no, we got to do like the chemical oven cleaner, well, oven on level of cleaning? Yeah,
sometimes. Yeah, sometimes. But like, to not know how to do it and just to be like, I need a woman to do this. What? What are you talking about? You could do it. What do you need a woman to do it for? I mean, it's convenient, but you're acting like you can't clean. And then you look at the way they live and you're like, oh, wait a minute. I think I believe you. I think I believe you. I feel so bad about the way you live. I got to go home and like run a load of laundry or something. You know, like
Jack.
Yeah.
Jack.
Yeah.
Single straight men and their no box spring single mattress on the floor having asses. Oh, is that your television sitting on a cardboard box? Is that what that is?
Dude. Yeah, it's like I appreciate the utilitarian, but like, come on, let's not do this.
You ever been to it's one of those like moments of just like you walk into this person's house and you think, oh, this can't be where you live. I'm going to die. This is a murder, right? That's what this is.
Yeah, totally. It's like I'm gonna find critters in here. You know, I don't want that to happen. You know, it's like, do you ever bring women back here? Do they ever come back? You know, like, is there one lost in here? You know, like,
it's like, do they ever come back?
Oh, no, hey, here's Becky. Well, what's left of her? You know, always wondered what happened.
Do they ever come back? No, and I can't figure out why. I can.
I can tell you right now. Yeah, the grown-ass old men can't even be bothered to wipe a counter. That's woman's work. Bitch, please. You skanky old. You can't tell me that the only... Look, I don't... Look. You can't be bathing just because mom tells you to. You know, like, come on. Do you hate yourself that much? You do, don't you?
Also, I'm gonna say it. I don't care if I hurt some feelings right now.
Yeah.
If you don't wash behind your ears, you're disgusting. You're disgusting.
Yeah, I discovered that shit as a teenager.
Ugh.
Yeah, I discovered that as a teenager where I was like, ugh, it gets grody back there.
I thought that was just a saying, and that's why I don't like you.
Yeah.
Just fucking...
You know, yeah, it can't be looking like Joe's apartment. Come on. But yeah. It's like, I get you're depressed, you didn't do it, but I don't get, I'm like waiting for a female presence to get it done.
Oh, yeah, no. I want to make it perfectly clear we are not talking about people who have depressive or mental health issues.
No, it's not what we're talking about.
That's a whole different animal. It's a whole different animal, and it's not the same thing in any way, shape, or form. Like it's the whole like, oh, I could totally do this, but that's woman's work to keep after. I'm like, oh, I hate you.
Yeah. That I hate. And I've even known guys who weren't like that, were just really bad at keeping house. You know, like just kind of bad at it. And it's just like, brother.
This is a learned skill.
Brother.
What's that?
What's that? You know, now granted, sometimes there is some specialized knowledge that you may or may not have, like RMR. You may not know what that is. You should. It kills mold on contact. It's awesome. It'll get rid of mold stains. I recently discovered this. I've been fighting with a mold stain, got some RMR. It's gone.
It's fucking great.
It's fucking amazing, you know?
Also, what do you mean there's no bleach anywhere in this house? What do you mean? What do you mean?
Gotta have something, baby. Got some Fabuloso at least? Come on. I get into fights over that. Of that Fabuloso because like the Countess does not like the way it smells, but I am like, there's no other acceptable cleaner.
This is everything.
This is everything. You know, so like I have to
I change which scent of Fabuloso I'm using in my house based on the seasons. It's my little cleaner calendar.
Yeah, I've been going through the scents trying to find one. I think I have. You know, that is not offensive. You know,
I'm a lavender guy. I like that one.
I like the lavender one too. You know, like that I think is my favorite. You know, and if you're like, what the hell is Fabuloso? See, you're part of the problem. You are not feeling bonita, even though that's like ancient now. You know,
it's like, oh, you asked the question, what the hell is Fabuloso? Ay, mijo, yo no entenderé. Tú no entiendes. Ay.
No, I need it. I need it. You know, and man, although I will say there is one room that's really frustrating to clean because like it never stays clean because it can't. Bathroom. I get it. You have to do it, but I get going like, oh man, I don't do this shit.
No, the minute there's my walls in my bathroom are like actually tiled
Oh,
and have like actual grout and shit. So nah, shit gets sprayed with like shit gets like soaked and scrubbed down in like scalding water and bleach, because the minute I see any coloration on that beautiful shining white grout, oh no. No. Yeah, exactly.
yeah, gotta get in there with the power washer.
Yeah, I don't cotton to that.
Yeah.
I don't. It's very interesting because uh I I've had people marvel at the lack of cat litter on my bathroom floor.
Oh, nice.
I've had people
Is
marvel
that
at
just
this,
because you sweep it up every day?
there is a separate broom and small vacuum just for the bathroom.
Oh man, I probably should get. Actually, what I really should get one of those like little
Dustpans?
Yeah, with the stick on it, so I don't have to like lean over. I really ought to do that because that's the part I hate doing. The leaning over, because like I think I have like an inner ear imbalance or something, because because it's like ugh, doesn't feel great. It's one of the reasons it's really one of the reasons I have problems with like sit-ups.
Oh, because no, I would see how that would be.
Yeah. Like there's some sort, but also it might also just because my sinuses are all weird, get all weird, especially during allergy seasons. The last few days it's just been terrible.
Allergy seasons? You mean all year?
All year forever? Yeah. Bastards. Bastards. Like trees are putting their pollen, spreading their DNA all over the place.
Coming in the air.
Making love to the... What you doing? Making love to the sky? Damn plant. Well, yeah. They need... Are you hoping a bee will take your fucking plant semen somewhere?
Hey, it could be worse. We could live... Either you or I could have to live near a bunch of linden trees.
No.
I'm assuming you understand what I mean by that?
Yeah.
For anyone watching, not in the know, an interesting biological fact is that the two most common species of linden tree, found mainly in Germany and the Alpine regions, smells like semen when it is pollinating. It smells like actual human semen. England found this out when they lined the streets of London with linden trees. And people legitimately complained about the fact that massive swaths of the city suddenly smelled of jism. This is an actual thing.
Yep. Speaking of German things.
Oh no.
An idea for a werewolf.
Okay.
Named Leon Berger.
Okay.
And Leon Berger is kind of dumb. But he's dumb in a semi-smart way. He's the guy who's always like, why is it we park in a driveway and drive in a parkway? God damn it, Leon, shut the fuck up. Don't do this. Like, you motherfucker. Like, stop doing this crap.
If you spill spot remover on your dog, will he disappear?
Shut up, Leon. Just shut up. I don't know why. But I feel that's what a werewolf named Leon Berger would be like. Because I cannot get over the fact that there is a type of dog called a Leon Berger. And I am childish. Cat, did you want? Ghost cat. Leon Berger, shut up. You know? Well, if you think of it, cedar allergy is just tree semen. Yo.
Yeah.
Oh, are you guys... Oh, no, they're... Oh, hi, cat.
Did you not see the cat?
I did not. He got right by me.
Oh.
Hold on. He is approaching. He is slowly approaching the canine. Let's see. Let us see what happens. All right, he's getting closer.
Have they interacted before?
Well, they're used to each other.
Oh, okay.
You know, I wouldn't say that like Gomez was like super thrilled about it, but he seems to be at the point where he tolerates it. He accepts the dog's presence. Father, I am here. Yeah, exactly. Oh, now he's off. He was like, oh, I was thinking of sleeping on the bed, but then there's that dog.
Can't have that.
Snuggled between the pillows right there, looking at me. Aww. Aww. No, I get it. He's surrounded by pillows right now and just kind of nuzzled in. He's adorable. Yeah. Oh, now he's giving me puppy look. You know, I should probably go make dinner.
I mean, that's fair. Can I ask you something?
Oh, yes, absolutely.
So is this just a permanent thing with cats that it's just like, yeah, no, every day they just forget that you actually care enough to feed them, and every day they think you will forget?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Yes. Like, okay. Did you ever see that Sarah Squirrels comic? She's like, I know I'm 5 minutes late feeding you. It's okay. The cat just looks. Look into its eyes. And then it's at a cat support group and goes, I almost died.
I almost died. I have seen that, and I also have seen a one where it's just like a cat runs up to a human. It's like, quickly, human, the spell that allows me to talk will wear off in just a few minutes. Okay, whenever I meow at you in the kitchen, it's because I'm hungry and I want you to feed me. Human's just like, I know. Cat's like, what?
Really? Then why do you torture me? You eat too much food. That's just because you don't know that there's predators all over the place.
You eat too much food. That's not possible.
That's a ball. That's not a thing. You know, look over there, predator. That dog is literally smaller than you are. No.
Look, a danger. That's a bin.
Yeah, that's literally it won't move unless you fucking touch it. And then it walks by and something falls over. Ah, you lied. Yeah, no, the cats are very anxious critters.
The demand for a constant, consistent schedule forever and ever is hilarious.
Yeah. Oh, the worst part is when a cat knocks something over and it's like, wasn't me. Oh, dude. All right, so my Gomez has found a little place for himself on the bookshelf. Now,
okay,
this is okay, but it's where I would put a lot of my Transformers. So I've had to make a little path for him so that he doesn't just knock them over when he's going back to his little hidey hole.
Okay.
That son of a bitch will still do it. He doesn't have to. There's nothing compelling him to do so, but he will just be like, boom, off the shelf now.
Oh, he like leans over for it.
Yeah. He'll just knock shit off. And it's like, you son of a bitch. You son of a bitch.
So, Apollo starts batting at things when I'm not moving quickly enough.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Yeah, like
some cats do that.
Yeah. But
hey,
it's
hey, hey,
yeah,
hey.
yeah. No, that's exactly what it is. The good thing though about when he does it, when he when it's because I'm not waking up to go feed him fast enough, it's usually because I'm in my bed and he'll go onto the night side, like the bedside table, and just he'll sit there and he'll like making direct eye contact with me, just reach his paw forward to something.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
and the actual good thing about that though is that, okay, so you know how every cat has like a sensitive spot like on their ass right above their tail?
Yeah.
And depending upon how sensitive it is, they either love getting pats and scritches here or they never want you to touch that ever.
Yeah.
So he's somewhere in between. He like lets me do it for a second, but then after that second, it's like, no, too much. Exactly.
Yeah.
So when he does that, his ass is usually facing me, and I'm just like, haha, I am a giant. And I reach my hand forward and I start messing with him. And then he's like, ah, and he jumps off the table and he runs away, going, ah, I've been defeated.
Gomez, when the Countess is off, there's always this particular time when the Countess is working. It's around like 1:30 in the morning. Gomez comes in, jumps on the desk, and plops down right on the keyboard. It's not, hey, it's ramp. Hi, cat.
If I'm sitting in a chair,
you won't do that to me, because I'm like, oh no.
Because
we have spoken. Yeah, I'll pick him up and be like, okay, get off.
He's like, no, not air jail, not again. Oh no, if I'm sitting in a chair, I will get yelled at if there is not an appropriate surface for him to jump on in case he wants to.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Like, the reason he's curled up right here on the bed that you can't see right now is because
cats are little neurodivergent fey creatures, says Catterman.
That is exactly what they are.
Yes.
And all dogs are ADD children.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, he's tired. Oh, look at that little fella. He took himself out.
As an ADD child, I concur.
Yeah.
But yeah, like the reason he's curled up right here on the bed that you can't see is because I am sitting in a chair right here.
Mm-hmm.
And if this was not available, he would start screaming at me. When he has a spot that he sits on my work desk, and and if I'm doing work at the kitchen table, it has to be cleared off. So if he wants to jump on it, he can.
Yeah, that's cats.
Yeah, there's no guarantee that he will, but he needs the option.
It's like the fucking door, man. Hey, don't close that. Well, you're already outside or inside. Yeah, but I might change my mind.
Oh, if it's a day where I'm home, there is a scheduled time during the morning where I'm supposed to open the back door because like the screen door is like glass.
Oh, okay.
So there's a time of day where in the morning where and he will yell at me if I don't do it. I have to open the back door so that for an hour he can watch sparrows out on the porch, and then for another hour he can fall asleep in a sunbeam. And how dare I deprive him of this?
Oh man. Okay, I really should go and make myself some dinner. So I want to thank everyone for coming down. Of course, I want to thank Yogi for coming down and chatting with me. Always awesome. I'm definitely going to be reading more of the Moon and Serpent Bumper Book of Magic, which is a book I recommend to everybody, particularly if you're interested in occult matters.
I'm going to say it. This is the Lesser Key of Solomon for our generation.
That's yes, I would agree. I would agree. And so till next time, Ave Satanas, Disco Inferno. Remember, Satan and I love you all very much. Remember to wash your ass. Please.
Hail Satan, everybody.
Please learn to wash your ass. Learn to wash a couple of dishes while you're at it, please. And learn to cook something that isn't just something you put in the microwave. Good night.